Well, his name is Dr. Dicken Bettinger. He's a world famous life coach. He's a triad psychologist, and he's an author of the famous book Coming Home. And he worked with Sid for many years, and he's my inspiration. After Sid, he's the only man by listening to whom my mind quiet down, and I had this amazing feeling of being with me. So, with pleasure and honor, let's welcome Dr. Dicken Bettinger. Hi, Dicken. How are you today?
Hi, I'm fine, Karen.
So good to see you.
Good to be.
So, Dicken, thank you very much. Dicken, today we'll talk about the introduction to three principles. So, Dicken, what are the three principles and what is their role in our life?
Every human being thinks, every human being is aware, and every human being has a mind. If you take away any one of those, you won't have a human being. So the three principles are thought, consciousness, and mind. They're formless energies in that create our experience. So uh, anywhere I go in the world, I can talk to people about these principles because they're universal and they're true for every person. And the first principle says that every moment of our experience and feeling is being created by the power of thought. So if that power creates a sad thought, we feel sad. If it creates a happy thought, we feel happy. It's another way of talking about the spiritual nature of life, the force that creates life. So the power of thought creates our experience. But I've traveled all over the world, Karen, and asked thousands of people, what do you feel? And everybody feeling, right? That's normal. But then I ask, where do you think that feeling is coming from? Nobody says thought. People say, I'm feeling upset because of something that happened. I'm sad because of something that somebody said to me. I'm upset because of my past or my personality or the weather and it's a misunderstanding that human beings have had for hundreds and hundreds of years. The principle of consciousness allows us to be aware of life so that I can be aware of the fact that I think and have experience. And the principle of mind says that when it's an intelligence. Mind is the intelligence behind life that knows how to create all of life. It's the creative nature of the divine. Consciousness is the aware nature of the divine. Thought is the creative capacity of the divine. You put them all together, it's three ways of talking about the way the divine creates, or the spiritual nature of life creates every moment of our experience. So those are the three principles, and they have relevance to everybody in the same way gravity as a force has relevance to every single human being. These are forces that are responsible for creating every moment of every human being's experience. So we can teach this to little kids in school and help understand where their feelings are coming from, right? We can teach this in education at any level. We can teach this in business. I worked for 16 years in very large corporations, helping do leadership training programs and coaching presidents of companies. Because as people learn to use their mind more wisely, they do better in life. They're happier and they do better. So it's a wonderful message for people that everybody already has perfect psychological well-being, but it gets covered over when we get caught up in our thinking, especially thinking that creates tension, stress, or upset.
Right. Yeah, this is like what I realized. Like, I'm from India, and mostly the people here, they think like they have no control in their life. The people, circumstances, lack of money, lack of health, those things are controlling how they feel. But it's not true. What we feel is something that we think. And that's been a great insight for me, and it's life changing.
How did it affect you when you realized that your feelings came from your own thinking in the moment?
uh, it was quite a great experience for me. Like, I always thought that I'm not rich and I'm from India. I'm not that good looking, so everything affected me. But when I realized, when I listened to Sid Banks, like, nothing was like intellectual. It was like automatically I had good feelings,
Mm.
and those feelings were like the feelings of calm and this amazing sensation in the body. It was a great experience. And after Sid, it was you. I was listening to your interview, and my mind was like so much noisy. There was so much chattering, and just by listening to you, something happened. It quieted down, and then
Mm.
I realized, yeah, this is it. This is what I was looking for.
Isn't that interesting? That happened to me too. In my first in my first time, I learned this from Sydney Banks. He was just an ordinary man with a ninth grade education who had a spiritual awakening. And he saw the connection between spirit and psychology, that all psychology is created from spirit, not from the world. That's huge. It's huge. It's so simple, but it's huge. So I used to think about problems in my life, and it would make me nervous or anxious. And when I went to my first teaching, I started becoming aware that my anxiety, my worry, my tension, my nervousness was being created by the way I was thinking about my life. And when I realized that, I dropped those thoughts and came back to the present moment. And when I was resting in the present moment, those thoughts fell away. And for no reason, I just started feeling better. And I said, it can't be this simple. I've been a psychologist for 10 years, and nobody ever taught me as a psychologist that every bit of feeling you have is created from your thinking. And when you become aware of that fact, not what you're thinking, but just the fact that you're thinking up your feeling, there's a natural tendency to let go of thinking that creates our tension, stress, or upset. And when we do, we rest in the present moment, wide awake, aware, just an aware presence. And when we are wide awake and aware in the present moment, we start to, this deeper intelligence, this deeper wisdom brings us feelings that uplift and new and fresh thinking. And everybody is built that way. I've taught this to people in prison. I've taught this to people who have been in mental institutions their whole life. I've taught this, like I said, to top business executives. because we all think, we all are conscious beings, and we all are connected to the intelligence that knows how to create life and operate it. And it's just unbelievable. It's such a beautiful message for people, is you already have perfect well-being, always. But then it gets covered over when we get caught up in our thinking and start thinking that our thinking is true. So if I have the thought, like you said, I'm not handsome, or I'm not as good as other people, and we compare, if we get caught up in that thinking and think it's true, we will feel insecure. But when we realize my insecurity is not because of the way life is, it's because of how I'm thinking and what I'm thinking. And so when I come back to the present moment, that thinking falls away. It's not even true anymore. It's not being created. How freeing. It's so freeing. I want everybody in the world, Karen, to know this. I want everybody in the world to learn that we have perfect well-being and wisdom inside of us because we're connected to the spiritual nature of life. Human beings are just energy, and we're connected to the divine field of infinite energy that creates life. In the same way, the wave is connected to the ocean. We're all connected on a deeper level, right? Underneath the person is this divine thought, divine consciousness, divine mind, creating life moment to moment. And as we have insight into that, we begin to have less and less thinking that we don't want to hold on to and keep thinking about things that make us feel tense or stressed or upset. And when we let go of those feelings change, because this deeper wisdom is waiting. It's just the metaphor that's older than us, older than psychology. It's one of the oldest metaphors in the world. You have weather, clouds, you have blue sky, and you have sun. When we get caught up in our thinking, it's like getting caught up in the clouds, the storms. We have thought storms. And then we think that's who I am. I'm a storm, and there's something wrong with that, and it means something. When we realize that's just a bunch of thoughts, and we fall present, we become like the blue sky, just open, aware, present. Our natural state. We're born that way. Open, aware presence. That's the blue sky. And then the sun of wisdom, the light within, the light of wisdom, the light of consciousness, the light of God shines through us and brings us warmth and nourishment, feelings that uplift, and new and fresh thinking that's helpful to us, common sense. So,
Beautiful.
yeah, thank you.
That's a great metaphor. So yeah, this is what I see. Like even the thoughts that we think, they are all made up.
Yes.
They are not real.
Well, they're made up because they're just condensations of energy. It's electrical activity that's created in us that creates the feelings and sensations, right? The power of thought is what creates that activity in our heads. So whatever thought we have, we're going to feel. So if I'm thinking about something, oh, this is horrible. I don't like this. I can't stand this. Why is this happening? It shouldn't be happening. Every one of those thoughts will create a feeling.
So,
I'm the
because
thinker. So if I think that, I'm going to feel it. If I stop thinking it, it's just energy. So it falls away. Falls away. Doesn't It's not creating an experience anymore. That's why people get over things, right? Say you're really upset thinking about something and your best friend comes into the room and you go, oh, hi, and you see your friend, you start talking to them. What happened to your upset? You were upset a minute ago and now you're talking to your friend and having a good time. What happened to your upset? It went away because it's not being created, right? The spiritual nature of life is a creative energy. It's creating our experience moment to moment, depending on what we're thinking in that moment. When I let go, here's the cool thing. When I let go of everything I'm thinking, positive and negative, every thought, I'm still here. And what's still here? Consciousness, awareness. I'm still aware, right? And as I let go of every one of my thinking and I'm standing, it's what my teacher Sid Banks called pure consciousness, just awareness, free of concepts, free of ideas, free of beliefs. In that moment, freedom, perfect well-being, freedom, presence, resting in divine consciousness, resting in awareness, our true nature, what's always here that doesn't come and go. And when we are resting as pure consciousness, always we'll start to feel more connected to life. Let's say I'm walking down a busy street and I'm thinking about a problem. I won't experience the street, I'll experience my problem. And then I realize I'm feeling tense. And I wake up to the thought and come back to presence. Now I'm walking down the street with no thinking on my mind. It may be going through my head, but I'm not paying attention to it. I'm just looking around in my senses, wide awake, just an aware presence walking down the street, and the smells of the food and the colors and the sun coming down through and it's just like I feel connected to life and to people. So as human beings become more and more present, they feel more and more connected to life. So we have feelings of gratitude, love, peace, joy. It's our nature. It's our nature. When people become fully present, they start feeling more peaceful because they don't have the noise of their thinking in their head. So they feel more peaceful. Our senses come alive, so we feel more happiness, more joy. We feel closer and more connected to what's around us, so we feel love. If we see someone suffering, we will feel compassion. It's built into us to feel those deeper feelings. So you have two people now in a movie. One is thinking about a problem they have in their life and they're feeling horrible. And they're watching the movie, but they're feeling horrible. The other, it's a comedy or a musical. And the other one is happy and listening to the music and two people watching the same movie having completely different experiences because they each are living in their own thought created reality. But the good news is any human being, when they wake up out of their thinking, when they surrender to the moment or to God or to the divine, when they let go, when people let go of everything they're thinking, they start to feel more peaceful, more present, then more alive, and then more connected. So if I don't feel close to my wife, I used to think we had a problem and we'd have to talk about it for a long time. And now if I don't feel close to my wife, I know I'm caught up in my thinking, because when I fall out of my thinking, I start feeling close to my wife, no matter what she's doing. Why is that? I have no judgments in my head. I have, those are thoughts. Judgments are thoughts. I don't think she should be different. Those are thoughts. When all of those thoughts fall away, it's like the clouds part, blue sky, the inner love shines through, and we're able to bring love and understanding to other people. So I can walk into a room and I can see somebody caught up in their thinking, and I know why they're unhappy, because they're caught up in their thinking. They think they're unhappy because of something that happened to them hours ago, or days ago, or years ago. Right? They're innocently doing what we all do when we have difficulty. We all, even still, I do too. I'll get caught up in my thinking, and what I'm thinking seems true. That's the only way people suffer psychologically. It's the only way people suffer. So there's one problem we all have psychologically. We get caught up in the content of our thinking and think it's true. I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I can't stand this. This is the way life is. This is who I am. I'm this kind of person, I'm that kind of person. All of those thoughts are just made up, like you said. They're just made up. When I let go of them, what's left always? Pure presence. Pure presence, free of all ideas. And it's wide open awareness. And when people are in wide open awareness, pretty soon they start to feel better and feel more connected to life. It's a beautiful, the way we work. It's a beautiful system. We just didn't understand how that worked. So we walked around feeling like life is making me feel what I'm feeling. I've worked with people in horrific situations, or people in jail, or people in mental institutions. And when their mind clears, they feel peace too. And when there's come alive, they feel happiness too. And when they fall into that space within, they start feeling love and connection too, no matter what their situation. So it's unconditional love, unconditional happiness or joy. Satchitananda, right? Those are the three principles, right? Sat, being, mind. It's another word for universal mind is being, universal spiritual being. Chit, awareness. Ananda, pure thought, is love. Ananda, love bliss. When we are caught up in our head, we're very dry. When we fall out of our thinking, there's rasa. There's juice in life. There's our senses sing and come alive, and we're happy and dance, and the food tastes good. When I'm in my head, I will experience my, and so I can be eating and not even taste it.
Wonderful. Okay. And the thing is that I always thought that I need to do affirmations, practice changing my thoughts, the content of them.
Yes,
And there was hypnosis,
yeah,
NLP, and whatnot. Every single thing just got me away from my sense of being.
yes.
So, yeah. So,
I did too. If people don't know they're connected to wisdom already. If people don't know they have deeper feelings of love, happiness, and peace within them, they will search for them on the outside. They'll look for it. They'll look for something that when they do it, they feel better. And then they think they'll feel better because of what they're doing, rather than whenever I get really present and my head clears, I will feel better no matter what I'm doing. Washing the dishes, you can feel bliss,
Nice.
right? It's built into us to have deeper feelings of well-being. I watch my grandkids. They're fully present. They get upset, that's normal, but it flows through them. They don't hold on to that thinking and believe it. So it just comes through them. They get over it, and then they're just enjoying life. With understanding, we all become more like kids again. Present, alive, wonder, enjoyment of the senses, wide awake, open to this deeper wisdom that breaks through and brings love and understanding. It's these principles, thought, consciousness, and mind, we can teach to people anywhere in the world. I've done seminars in countries all over Europe, 15 countries, all over, all over, and people are the same. We all think. We all get caught up in our thinking sometimes. We all start thinking that our feelings are coming from outside of us rather than being created from spirit, from within. We all innocently misunderstand the spiritual, psychological nature of life. It's all the same energy dancing. Mm-hmm. Beautiful dance of energy. Right?
It is.
Right? This energy is dancing me right now, and I'm just enjoying talking to you. So it's bringing me these deeper feelings when my mind is open. When I'm caught up in my thinking, I can feel worry, upset, tension, stress, and that takes a toll on people. But most people think their stress comes from their situations or other people, or from their past or their karma or something. So then they try and do things that when they do them, they feel better. So like you, I did a lot of techniques, a lot of work. I was meditating 4 hours a day. I was doing affirmations every day. I was working on every dream, every night, every day. I was writing in journals. I was working, trying to develop my well-being. And then I meet Sid Banks, this welder with an 9th grade education. He says, it's pretty funny that you're working so hard to get something you already have and already are. And for a moment, I stopped seeking. And I fell into aware presence, the now. And for no reason, I started to feel more relaxed, more alive. And I went, oh my gosh, what I've been looking for is my true nature. Can only be found within. That's why all spiritual teachings, they say, look within. The divine spark is already within you. It's right here, this moment,
Beautiful.
this moment, this moment, right? Then I become more and more living in the present rather than thinking I am my thinking and my feelings, they come and go. They're like clothes. You put them on, you take them off. It's not who we are, ultimately. It's not our essence. My thoughts and feelings come and go. What's still here that doesn't come and go? That's a spiritual question. What's always here? When I let go of everything I'm thinking and feeling, what's still here? Pure thought, pure consciousness, pure mind, presence, aliveness, love, connection. That's what's still here always. That's the sun of truth. It's a fact. Thought is a fact. It's the force that generates life. So trees are divine thought. Birds, people, animals, created from this energy. And in human beings, we say, we think, we're aware, we have a deeper mind and intelligence much deeper than our computer. We're more than our computer, our thought content, and our stored thoughts. When I fall into aware presence, I don't access memory and stored thought. I access new and fresh thoughts that come from beyond the computer. Original thought, divine thought, if you will, inspiration, new ideas, creativity. Right? When our heads are quiet and clear, everybody becomes creative. That's how people write music. That's how people write poetry. They get quiet and then things start coming and we write them down. It's a mystical life we're living in. We're all spiritual, psychological beings. We're all both a wave and the ocean. We're more than just the birds flying through the sky. We're the sky, we're the ocean, we're the sun. Our embraces all of that because we're connected. We're all connected to the energy of life. We're not separate. We think we are, right? But when I'm not thinking, I start feeling more connected.
Sure. This is like something that is life changing for every single person. These days, you must have heard of manifestation and law of attraction. So I also tried that. I tried to visualize, say, my affirmations and writing my dream work, but it got me out of my sense of being. I was
Yes.
trying to get peace of mind, but it got me like away from that. So if we like stop thinking, so how can we achieve our desires or manifest our dreams?
Well, we never stop thinking. You'd be brain dead.
I-
We never stop thinking. When we're fully present, we use our minds in a different way, don't we? Still think. And when I'm fully present, this deeper wisdom knows how to use my computer wisely. So there's a balance. I can say to you, Karan, let's meet for lunch tomorrow at noon at a certain place. And you can understand me because I'm using my computer and stored information. Thank God I have this computer, my intellect. But I was not built as a human being to live in my computer. And a lot of people live all day long in their thinking. If they were a teenager, we'd say, close your laptop, get off your screen, put your phone down, right? Don't spend all day absorbed on the screen. Well, when we're caught up in our thinking all day long, we're absorbed in our intellect. in our thinking, in our ideas, in our beliefs. And then a full human being has a balance between wisdom and their intellect. So we can use our intellect wisely. And then when we feel tension, stress, or upset, we're not using our intellect wisely. And it's a beautiful reminder of that we're something greater than our intellect. We're connected to a greater wisdom, a greater intelligence. And so we fall open, and then there's a balance. And then wisdom helps us live our lives successfully. When I work with people who are top in the country, I don't say throw away your computer. I say, but when you're feeling tension, stress, and upset, you're still trying to use your computer. No wonder you're having difficulty. No wonder you're having difficulty. So then pretty soon tension, stress, or upset becomes a friend to wake them up to the now. Then they find a balance. And then this deeper intelligence takes over. Then the deeper intelligence lives them. It's beautiful. So you get the best, as Sid Banks would, you get the best of both worlds. You get the best of ideas and beliefs, and then you're able to set them aside and then allow these deeper feelings to come forward. And in those feelings is all kind of wisdom. In love is wisdom. They go hand in hand. When I fall into that quiet space inside, presence, there's silence and there's the feeling of being present, which is a nice feeling. And in that feeling is all kinds of common sense. I can drive a car when I'm present. Wisdom is helping drive that car. If I didn't get present, I couldn't walk across the room without bumping into things. So all human beings get present, but they're not aware that that's true nature. Right? So as we have insight into our true nature, we don't gain anything. We begin to recognize the truth of who we really are and what we're really connected to. We're divine beings, every one of us. That's not a religious statement. That's a statement of fact that we're all connected to an intelligent energy. The physicists, in quantum physics, they say all of life is the field of energy, and that field of energy is full of information, wisdom, knowing, intelligence. It's full of awareness because anything created has awareness because it's made of aware energy. Right? It's creative because out of nothing comes everything. That's physics. That's science. That's truth.
And like, I want to ask you that all thoughts are made up, and every single thought is a transient thought. It means it is passing by. So, could you please talk a little about thought and its nature and how it works in our life?
Imagine you had a river flowing through your head, and down the river comes all kinds of thoughts, all kinds, right? And they're just flowing through. So, like babies, it's just there's a flow and they're present. And then we start developing our intellect so we can grab onto a thought in the flow and hold on to it and think about it. And when we hold on to the thought, that becomes our experience, our reality. You let it go and you're back in the now and your thinking is flowing. You still have thoughts. It's what some teachers call the state of no thought. It doesn't mean you don't have thoughts, they're flowing through. The sky doesn't try and stop the birds or hold on to them. They can flow through. And is an observation anybody can make. When we are fully present, like right now, if I'm fully present, I see you, I see my hand, I see the tree out the window, I see the light, I hear my voice, I feel my chair. I'm wide open, right? Wide open, not holding anything in mind. That's the only place people can find peace or joy or love, when we are in the now. No human being can think their way into happiness. It's when we stop thinking, we start feeling happiness. We don't really stop thinking, we just let it flow. Let it flow. Let it be. We let go and let this deep intelligence live us. Right? We do that when we walk down the street. We get present so we don't bump into everybody. Right? And we let that intelligence just guide us, and it knows how to move us the same way that intelligence knows how to turn a flower toward the sun. That intelligence knows how to tell a bird when to eat some food and when to fly away. Doesn't have to figure it out and think about it first. When I'm driving a car, I'm making life and death decisions without thinking about it.
Wow.
That's for intelligence. When I'm in a situation where people are really upset, if I get present without thinking about it, I know when to open my mouth and when to keep it closed. That's wisdom.
It's wisdom. Every single feeling is like a feedback. This is what I
Yeah.
forgot the name.
Yes.
It is like love letters from God.
Yeah. Very nice. I used to really dislike feeling tension. I didn't like it, or fear, or upset. But now it's a friendly reminder that I'm caught up in my thinking. And that when I come back, if I really see that, it'll bring me right back open to the now. Why would I hold on to thought that makes me feel tense, stress, or upset? Because when I let go of it and I'm wide open, that tension, stress, and upset falls away. And when it falls away, I feel better. And when I feel better, I do better in my life, in my relationships, in driving the car, in walking down the street. So as our understanding or insight into how thought works deepens, as we have more insight into, oh, that's thought too. Oh, yeah, that's thought too. Oh, yeah, what I'm feeling right now, that's thought too. We begin to let go of more and more of the thoughts that burden us and weigh on us. And as we do, we start living more present. So understanding brings people to a natural meditative state of mind, relaxed, open, aware, enjoying life in the moment, allowing all kinds of thoughts and feelings to flow through without it being a problem.
Beautiful. And uh, could you talk a little more about wisdom? Like the solution to every problem is in our wisdom. It is 24/7 guiding us. So could you please talk about wisdom?
It's the intelligence behind all life. Are connected to that intelligence. Dogs are. They know how to cross the street without getting killed most of the time, right? When I get quiet, when human beings get quiet and present, they not feel presence, which is a nice feeling, but they have more common sense. They're better able to make decisions, better able to deal with difficulties. When people are in emergency or life-threatening situations, people are told, stay calm or be present. They're never told, think yourself into a friend, right? Because when we're calm and present, we're able to deal with difficulties well. Anybody is. Intelligence, that's the all in.
So beautiful. And I would like to ask you, like, hmm, I've seen your interviews in which you have talked about your relationships, how it all got better, and how you made a big change. And this is what you have taught people. So, how to have like happy and better relationships?
That's a good question, isn't it? Everybody wants to know how to have relationships. It's helpful to learn that in a relationship, we're feeling our own thinking, we're not feeling the other person. So that when I started to learn this, if I felt impatient with my wife or bothered or frustrated or close to her, when I started to realize that was in my thinking, not in my relationship, it made me take responsibility for what I was feeling. I found out if I brought tension to my wife or my kid, it only could make things worse, right? And when I would still get upset. And I would to the present past, right? And then when it would pass, I would feel better. And when I would feel better, I did better as a parent, as a husband, because I would bring love to them rather than upset all the time. Then acts, and then they would bring this back. To give is to receive.
Oh,
So I would see my job in my relationship is to enjoy my relationships. And when I'm not enjoying them, if I know it's thought, it'll bring me back to the now. Those will fall away. Feeling will fall away. And I'll feel better. Now I have something to offer the relationship. Now, if I bring that back to the relationship will get better. When I started bringing good feeling, parenting from a good feeling rather than parenting from an upset feeling, parenting became a lot more enjoyable. And I could have a better relationship with my kids and now with my kids.
beautiful, beautiful. This is what we have to do. We all have to just stop getting caught up in our thinking and
Yeah.
flow through this divine mind.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, if
Great.
you become aware of thought, that'll happen. If we become aware of consciousness, we know what our home is. Wide open awareness is our home base. We're most comfortable, most open. And when our minds are open, our hearts open. When our hearts open up, we know how to deal with life. Sometimes my teacher, Sydney Banks, a spiritual teacher, would say, it's all thought. Everything you experience from the moment you're born till you die, you're just experiencing thought in the moment. That's how human beings are able to have experience. It's all thought. If you start realizing that, you won't be able to blame other people or situations for your feelings. It's all thought. And the second that is, because you can't think and listen at the same time. Listen for a feeling. The feeling of presence. The feeling of being. You can be in a low mood, really upset, and either you're thinking about it or you're present. And when you're present, there's a deep feeling of aliveness and connection. And in that feeling is all the common sense we need to live a good life. So I would with my kids, and they'd be doing something, and I would get upset, and then I would recognize thought, come back to the present moment. And once I nice feeling, I just go, I wouldn't even have to think about what to say or do. I just go talk to him.
Wow.
In feeling, and wisdom would guide me. Wisdom would bring the words to say. Let go. Right?
Wonderful. Wonderful. So, yeah, it's been a great time. Second. So, I want to ask you a last question. Like, this is what I like made a mistake of. I always try to think my way out of life. I would tell myself, it's a thought, stop it. It's a thought, stop it. But
I tried
so
that.
you tried that too. Okay.
Aaron, I tried that too.
Great.
Yeah.
So what should we do then? Like, just quiet the mind, stop thinking.
Wisdom knows how to quiet our minds and to clear our heads. Our intellect, our computer, doesn't know how to do that. So when I let go of everything I'm thinking, I stop trying, and wisdom takes over. And it knows everything does it better. Or I could say, God knows better how to do this than I do. If I get out of the way, God will take over. Okay? When I'm talking, try to figure out what to say, I'd get very nervous. When I let go of everything, words keep coming. It's spiritual teaching that when our minds quiet down, that deeper mind over and lives us beautifully when we get out of the way, when we let go of ego, let go of the ideas that we're attached to and caught up in. We don't become dumb, we become present. And when we're present, we become wise, loving and they go hand in hand.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Stop.
Good.
Place to stop.
Wonderful. So again, it has been a great time with you. So if people want to follow you or know more about you, how can they just find out more about you?
Well, it turns out that a lot of people tape my talks or film them, and then they put them on YouTube. So if you went to YouTube and put my name in, Dicken Bettinger, there'll be pages of talks that I've given if people want to listen to more talks. Or I would suggest you listen to my teacher, this spiritually awakened teacher, Sydney Banks. And there's a website, Syd, S-Y-D, Banks, B-A-N-K, all small letters, sydbanks.com, C-O-M. And it has free streamed videos of his talks. And that's what I listen to. He's been my teacher for all these years, 33 years. So,
Great, great. Do you still listen to Sid's videos?
pardon me?
I was asking you, do you still listen to Sid's videos?
Still make new videos?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was saying that. Do you still listen to Sid? Do you watch his videos still?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
And he has books that he's written.
Mhm.
So I reflect on his words because they're simple reminders of what we already know, that we live in the world of thought, that we can use wisely or unwisely, that our true nature is pure, pure thought, pure mind. And when we are wide open, this deeper intelligence brings us exactly what we need, our well-being. Being. It's this state where you're not holding a single thought. That's our well-being. The now. We're one little step always away from the now.
It's one thought away.
Always one away from being fully open and present. And then we're in our well-being because wisdom starts coming through as soon as the clouds part, the sun shines through. It's always there waiting to shine through.
Beautiful. 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 Great, great, Dick. And it has been a great time with you. And it's a pleasure and honor to talk with you. And thank you very much. Have a great day. Okay. Bye bye.
Lovely being there with you and your family. Maybe
Thank you very much.
that's very nice. Very nice to see everybody there.
Thank you. Thank you very much again. I'm grateful to you.
All right. You too.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.